Hello, visionary. So we have a pretty intense topic that we're talking about today for spiritual entrepreneurs or pretty much anybody who is in our community, our conscious community, who are, well, everybody who's experiencing this financial crisis, which is basically everyone in the world right now. And so, sorry, fixing my hair. If you can see me, just let me know. I'm having a horrible glare with my glasses, and I thought I'd handled it, so that's why I'm distracted. Okay, so if you can see everything and hear me okay, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I'd just like to know you guys are with me, you can hear me. And thank you guys for everybody who's here live and everybody who's listening to the recording. Just go ahead and hit replay if you're listening to the recording. So what we're talking about today is really, really important. Hey, awesome. It's good. Okay, great. Thank you, Davidian. Yes, I can see you. Hey, Tia. Hey, Twin Flame. Hey, Megan. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Hey, Faith, how are you? Good to see you. So it's an important topic because we're going to do straight talk, which means authentic talk about business and finances, what's going on with the financial crisis of this pandemic, because part of the big issue that so many people are facing right now is the fear around the uncertainty and the fear around the money. And even if you might feel okay right now, there's like an uncertainty of not knowing what might happen in a year or what might happen in a month in your business. Hey, Amy, I'm glad you made it live. Woohoo! Good to have you. So I want to give you guys, I want to get a little feedback from everybody and those of you listening to the recording about how you're feeling. If you feel, and everyone's going to be in a totally different place. And here's some of the topics that we're going to cover in this training. One is brainstorming business ideas in this new climate. Two is pandemic pivot, which basically means taking your business and moving it a little bit so that you can go with the flow as opposed to resist what's happening. Three is, how the fear is affecting our flow and how the fear is affecting our business, because we really do have to understand that there is this sense of abundance really drawing in more abundance. And because the whole world is in fear, we have a collective fear that we are absorbing. And it's very real, and we can't just blow it off. We have to really be present with what's happening in a very real way, right? We've got to be present with what's going on. And we're also going to be talking about additional streams of income. So all of these things are super important, and there's new ways to do new streams of income. And I think given the new climate, it's very important to look at all of these things. Now, some people's businesses may be booming. If you have anything online, anything you're doing online, you may actually see an increase in your business and not really want to talk about it too much. I know that our business actually is increasing because more people want to self-actualize, more people want to pivot online. And some of you may be in businesses that are actually struggling, and if not struggling now, you're having the fear that it might struggle in the future. So, and then there's the in between, which is like, I really still want to grow my business, but it feels like due to the climate, it's harder to grow. All of these things are probably part of the experience you guys are experiencing. Hey, from Croatia, Jelena, nice to have you. So why don't you guys, that reminds me, why don't you guys post in the chat where you're tuning in from? That's always really fun to see, especially right now. And here's the reason why. We are all in this situation together. right? And one of the things that's important for me is that we come together as a community and lift up and rise the tides and lift each other up into new ways of seeing things, new solutions, new opportunities. And when we come together in a spiritual community, we lift each other up and we open the doors to new possibilities, new potentialities. That's really important for me in our community, that we're doing this together. Oh, awesome. We have Calgary, Canada, San Diego, California. Yeah. Hey, Christopher, Columbus, Ohio, Ontario, Canada, snowy Woodstock. Yeah. We have had a very cold season here in California. We're in Orange County, and it's been really shockingly cold for us. Which is very, very unusual. And it really is creates an even more surreal situation with the quarantine, because, it's not anything we've ever experienced before. I mean, it's not like we're snowing here, but it's not nothing we've ever experienced before, but it's creating this very surreal environment right now where we are. I mean, the whole thing is surreal as it is, right? I mean, it's totally surreal. It doesn't get more surreal than an experience that no one's ever experienced in their lifetime or even their parents' lifetimes. And the reason why I like to hear where everyone's from is because we're all having a collective similar experience, and yet every country is handling it very differently. And I think here in the United States, we are very self-centered in our patriotism and our nationalism, and we forget to see how other countries are handling this and what they're doing, and the level-headedness that appears to me. I mean, obviously there's a lot of countries in a lot of struggle as well, and in a lot of intensity. But it's very interesting how each country is handling it very, very differently. And particularly here in this topic today, the financial situation, because every country is really handling it very different. And in our country, we're seeing that there's a lot of greed-driven agendas. And we all see it. We all know it's there. But there's a mass hypnosis, and there's also just, we're so used to it that we're kind of like baffled as to how and what to navigate with it, right? So what I'm going to talk about is the rising above of all of that, the rising above that we can all do from any country, from wherever you are, via the internet, right? Because right now there's a pivot. And if we really take advantage of the pivot, then we can actually utilize the chaos to move into our own calm and into our own center and into our own birthing of something new. So wherever there's a problem, there's always contained within it the solution. However, the solution appears when we shift out of the consciousness of the problem, right? Hey, Lisa. Hey, guys. So these are the topics we're going to be discussing today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the truth, the real talk around the financial situation. And what I mean by this is we're all feeling it. There's no way not to. We're all feeling the intensity around this situation. And it's really important to not belittle that, not belittle what you might be feeling, not stuff it down, and to not be ashamed also, because, whatever you're feeling has validity, right? So it needs, one of the things that really has helped me, and, for me, this is an exercise I've been doing since I left corporate. And some of you know my whole story of leaving corporate America, very high end, climbing the corporate ladder situation, where I just got a promotion, and then I was like, oh, I'll just buy a brick and mortar business and have passive income while I build my online business, and passive income with a brick and mortar is a joke, right? And so I went through a financial crisis, and I had my entire life savings, invested in this thing, and I didn't, I just found out I was a projector. So as you can know, I was pushing and shoving and trying to make stuff happen to deal with my fear of leaving corporate and doing what I'm designed to do and what my soul was calling me to do, which is the work I'm doing now. But I was so terrified that I made some bad choices. And the terror when I was about to lose my home, my freaking life savings, everything was so extreme. I built muscles around fear. And now I'm seeing that prepared me for today. And it really prepared me to step in the center of the storm and to move into a place of calm, even in the context of my accountant saying, be prepared, you might go bankrupt, you might lose your home, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's not happening. And I didn't lose my home. As a matter of fact, I sold it at the peak of the market because I waited until I was uninvited, which I was uninvited. And the minute I was uninvited in my home, I put it on the market. It sold in 24 hours. So what I'm trying to say is that I was gaining the tools of how to deal with fear and learning how to live my design. And so for those of you who don't know, living your design is one of the huge pieces around spiritual business that I feel was missing in my entire life before that point. And so we teach that on a very big level, is making sure that you know who you are. As a projector, everything I was doing was completely wrong. And it took a while to figure out how to live as my unique self. But I'm here to tell you that I went through all of that and I worked the fear every single day. In other words, I listened to it.
You were invited here, though.
I was invited here. Exactly. Davidian invited me here. Thank you, Davidian. And it is one of the greatest experiences of my life living here. I would have never lived in Orange County in the suburbs. If you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about, right? You don't go past the orange curtain. But I actually really loved it. Okay. Anyways, enough about that. That's Orange County, LA talk. Hey, Lucy Ann. So, I have been working this muscle. Many of you know what I'm talking about if you've ever been through something really intense, right? You know that the intensity forces you to use your spiritual tools and to reach into your toolbox, dig all those tools up, and work them in an extreme way. And so what happened was I was able to pull myself out of a very severe situation. And then move into believing somehow that potentially I could make enough money doing something I really love, where my family thought I was nuts. No one in my immediate circle recognized me as a projector except for Davidian, which is why my life really began to shift and change as he recognized me. And then taking the risk to actually wait to be invited. Before I started a new business, before I moved forward, but also working very powerfully and very deeply on feeling the fear and allowing it to move through my body, feeling it, honoring it, okay? Honoring that it's there rather than pushing it down and trying to do a bunch of stuff to make it go away, because it's here to show us some very important things, very important things. And when we can listen to it and we can feel it, okay, because the thing is, if you don't listen and you don't feel it, it will control you. It will control you. But if you can slow it down and look it in the eye, look it in the eye. What is it saying? Let it speak. Let it speak to you, and then direct and guide through critical thinking, through wisdom, and through higher thought, through progressive thought about how we now have the power to create our own world. There is a new thought, which is quantum physics, which is that we create our environment, our realities first within our own consciousness. So regardless of what we're seeing out there, our world is created within us. Our abundance is created within us. So it's very important for us to understand that even given the context of the collective fear, the power that it's infecting and infusing all of us, that power can move us forward in a positive direction if we're able to let it come through, not let it control us, and use it as a power force to create a new vision, a new solution, a new business idea. You guys with me on this? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So give me a yes in thumbs up if you guys are feeling the power of that shift and utilizing where this movement is coming, utilizing it for our own spiritual development, right? Our own inner growth, our own strength, our own power to trust ourselves, to learn who we are, learn our own unique wisdom, learn our own power, and learn how to hold that light and manifest a world that is our choosing, not controlled by the outside world, right? But through our own inner wisdom, our own light. Right? Yes? Yes? Hey, Vince. Hey, Flo, you feeling that? And one of the most important things, hey, yes, so Christopher, you're with me. So what I'm trying to say is what would be the most important thing that we could do in this call? And we're going to do a couple different things because we're going to talk about some logistics too. Okay, 2020 is so friggin' intense, Vince. Oh my God, so intense. We're going to talk about a couple of different things. But one thing that I want to do is rise this community up to a new level. I want to be able to shift you guys into the frequency of pulling your energy back from anything that is making you feel unworthy, making you feel less than, making you feel like you can't achieve what you want to achieve, what you were given to in this world, to make you feel in any way, shape, or form that you cannot step into the abundance that is your divine birthright, even in the center of this incredibly powerful storm. It might take a little bit more inner focus, pulling yourself inside, making sure you're hyper aware of what reality you're consuming right now, hyper aware of what you're putting in, becoming super conscious, waking up in the morning with the awareness, today I'm going to manifest a new reality within my consciousness, and I'm going to hold my frequency, and I'm going to step into a new potentiality. The minute you put that thought out into the world, you'll be handed a solution, a new idea, a business brainstorm. And that's what I want to talk about also, is how do we catapult your business and pivot it in this pandemic for new growth? Now, of course, one of the most obvious things is online. So doing more online, being more exposed online, having at least a new stream of income online, so that no matter what happens, even though, of course, you know, there's Bijou might bark. She's hearing something outside, just to prepare you guys. You know, Bijou's always here with us in our lives. So yes, there's some talk about what if the internet goes out and what if all of that. And the thing is that we've got to be in the present moment, and we've got to deal in the present moment. And I've asked all of my guides and all of the angelic angels and the light force to guide and direct through invitation if we need to pivot and when we need to make that pivot, right? So right now, this is the pivot we need to make online. Now, if there's a direction that we need to shift from that, we will do it, and we will figure out a way to do it. I'll ask for all of your guys' phone numbers and we'll call each other on the phone. We'll snail mail each other. But the point is, right now, pivoting online makes sense. Everybody's online, everybody's here, and having a new stream of income that you can do from your home is a great, great, great tool, regardless of what you're doing. And maybe what if you were working online, now you need to have a couple more streams of income, maybe in a way where it's the income that people need right now. Right. So, in other words, a lot of people have been reaching out to me saying, I don't think people need my services in the context of this pandemic. And so how do you shift just a little bit to provide for people who actually do need and what they need right now? So it's a little bit of a shift, right? It's a little bit of a shift as we're moving through the pandemic and what potentially we need to do. So if I were to look back over the past 2 years, because I lived my design, I believe that my mind would have told me and taken me down so many different paths that would not have served me. For example, like I said, because I was uninvited, I sold my condo, which my accountant, everybody said, hold on to it. It's an asset. It's going to keep growing. Hold on to it. I sold it at the peak of the market. Then Davidian and I were planning on moving, and we were researching and looking in all of these places to buy. And he kept saying, it's not the right timing. It's not the right timing. And so he compromises me in timing and direction. So what that means in a relationship is that I have to surrender timing to him. And thank God I listened to my design, because now we're in the perfect position to buy. Had we bought before all of this went down, we would have been in a horrible position. So what I'm trying to say is that when you really listen, there is a higher intelligence that's directing all of this stuff, much more intelligent than your mind. So if your mind is trying to think about how to make all this stuff happen and how to do all this, it's going to get confused. It's going to get tripped up in all of the fear and all of the things that are being presented and bombarded and the pressure to think about things, right? So when you put your mind into the back seat and you allow your vehicle intelligence to make some right choices for you, then you're going to be led, guided, and directed to the perfect timing, the perfect location, the perfect things that you need in this moment. So one of the things I'm seeing is that being of service, exactly, when you're of service of what's present, boom, you will be needed during this time. You will be needed for whatever is present, right? Hey, Lisa. Agreed, Raquel. Deal with the present. Yes. Hi, Lauren. This is what's being called to working from home and being more independent. Bingo. We cannot rely on any companies at this point. We have to rely on our own inner abundance, our own inner authority, and our own business resources, right? What is present and what's available, how we can serve and how we can monetize and be in abundance to let that monetization happen. It's like, yes, we need to make sure that we're offering what people need, but that's taking what you already do and just turning it just a little bit to make it so that it is exactly what people need in the moment. Hey, Howling Wolf. Yes, thank you. Yep. Oh my God, needed this. I'm so glad. This is important, right? It's really important. And one of the things that I've learned, Faith says, I'm noticing how important it is right now to stop trying to figure things out and make choices from pros and cons in my mind. Exactly. You cannot figure this out. You cannot figure this out. And if you're trying to look at all of these conspiracy theories and this and that and all the things that are going on, it doesn't matter. Like I said in my last video, even though I may see some things that I think might be more truth than other, it doesn't even matter right now, because all of our goal is to rise up in love, is to rise up in abundance, is to rise up in higher perspectives. Because the thing is we have like a third dimensional chaos grid, our fourth dimensional like light versus dark. And then the fifth dimensional, which is to rise above and see both sides of the story, see all of the angles and all of the perspectives, and lift ourselves up and know that we actually create our own world. And that is available to all of us right now. As a matter of fact, more so now than ever before. And so as we pivot, I think online is one of the best things you can do, and creating new streams of income online, at least one stream of income online, and making sure that you contemplate what people need. So in other words, if you are a healer or you're a spiritual entrepreneur of any kind, or you do any kind of services like this, it's very helpful to have something that people can actually buy from you in some online stream of income. So one of the things we're really focusing on right now with all of our clients is how to increase their YouTube channels and use YouTube as a stream of creating your community, creating another additional stream of income, and not from the AdSense, not from, having so many views that you're going to make $1 million on a video, because that is most of those videos that are super viral. They have a collective consciousness sort of feel to that, and some of us will have that, and that's fantastic, meaning you'll reach more of the masses. And some of us are here to have more of a specialized mission, a specialized medicine for a smaller group community. And so even if you have a smaller channel, but you have a big mission and a big message and some medicine that you need to serve your community, meaning a solution that they need to their problem, you can do that with a small community of YouTube and have a couple products that you provide for that community. So that's one of the big things we're focusing on right now, is helping people to establish that, because it's what we're seeing is that with Facebook too, and I love Facebook, and a lot of you are in our Facebook community, and I love Facebook and I love YouTube. I just have to admit it, even though I know there's a lot of problems with them and the privacy and whatever, but that's how we are all connecting right now in this time when we're totally isolated. So I really appreciate these opportunities to connect and to be with the community and to be with all of you. And so I think that this is one of the huge areas that if you don't have something in this realm, it's a really great time to do it. So there's this, as well as, of course, creating, I think, the right mindset about whatever it is that you are doing, pivoting and servicing for your community. What does your community need, and how can you service them through your wisdom, what you have to offer? Now, obviously, if you're a generator, manifesting generator, you're going to be responding. And obviously, as a projector, sometimes you do have to wait a little bit longer for the invitation. But here's another point I want to make, is when you make the confirmation to the universe that you are going to be living as your true, unique, divine self. So the minute I was in my brick and mortar investment, and I realized that I was having a crisis, instead of going in and working harder, when I started to learn I was a projector, I surrendered it over. And I said, you know what? If I lose everything, I lose it all. I surrender. I can't get up in the morning. I can't get into that store. And I just stopped going in. And you know what? The universe surrounded and protected me. I did my inner work. I visualized the outcome I want, and I was able in the nick of time to sell that thing and to get my money back and to use that money to start my own, online business. Now, granted, I was in serious debt for a long time. I finally paid off all of my debt, and I paid off all of my student loans, and I'm completely debt free. By the way, that feels freaking good. And so what I'm trying to say is that this particular process, this particular process of really following your design, it's the opportunity when you actually make a stake and you claim, this is what I'm going to do, unseen forces come to your hand. Unseen forces supported me to live as a projector, supported me to slow down, supported me in living my true life purpose and creating a life and a dream that felt super, super beautiful and empowering for my soul, and that served me, served my heart, and unleashed an entirely new way of operating on the planet. So what I did counterintuitive is, like, instead of going in there and working and figure out how to save this, and no, I just surrendered to living my design. And it was intense. I am not saying it wasn't intense, but the universe all came together to support that. YouTube is my favorite. I love YouTube also, Vince. So what I want to also tell you guys is I have a new video that we just released today. It just went public today, which is how to start your YouTube channel as a spiritual entrepreneur. Some of you are in my YouTube course, which is really good. So it's not obviously as in-depth as that, but it's a start. For those of you who kind of want to do it on your own, you can look at that. Is anybody here interested in starting their own YouTube channel? The link will be in the notes below after this video, and you guys can take a peek at that. But let me know. And maybe you already have a YouTube channel, but you're ready to get to your first 1,000, 100 subscribers, or 1,000 views, or 2,000 subscribers. Maybe you're at that point where you're ready to kind of leverage and go to the next level and then monetize it. Monetize it by having a product, right? So maybe you guys are at that place. Podcasts. I currently started one. I think podcasts are great. I would consider podcasts and YouTube very similar in that it's a platform to speak and to share and create an audience and then monetize. So podcasting's great, and I absolutely love it. I'm not doing one right now. We actually started one, and we'll probably get to that. But, there's only so many things you can do. So would love a podcast, interviews, talks. I've been getting invites. Yes, exactly. So that's the thing, is that when you wait for the invitation, you'll get what's correct for you, right? You'll get what's correct for you. But if you are feeling the YouTube thing and you have a message, a lot of my clients, they know they have a message. They know they have something they want to get out into the world. They feel that pressure to get their message out. Then this video might help you. And it's a brand new video. We just went public with it today. So it might be a good place for you to start. You started the YouTube channel, but you don't have the quiet time and space. Yeah, exactly. So that's really, we all go through having all sorts of obstacles. And especially if you have kids at home, it can be harder if you're doing homeschooling and all of that. But, maybe once a month you set it up to get your first video done, kind of squeeze out that time. So what I want to do is, there's a couple things. I feel like the invitations don't come. I'm a mental projector with only one channel. Oh, we have another mental projector with only one channel on this too. Twin flame harmony. I'm sure what I'm here to offer in the world is so specific and needs more time. Well, yes. And also for all of my projectors, it's really also about, you do have to master systems, right? Projectors have to be masters of the systems. They have to do what's in your joy. So when I shifted doing videos for a specific outcome or to be heard, and I just did it for fun, that's when things really shifted for me, just for fun. And then it's what's called taking the projector genius on a walk. If you're taking it on a walk, that's anywhere where you're being exposed. That could be YouTube, Facebook Lives, or even the podcasting. you're exposing your genius, and then you're like a beacon of light that people can see, and then the invitations can come when you take your genius on a walk. Sometimes if you're bitter, that means you might have been pushing, or you may have been taking something on a walk that you haven't mastered, and that's why the invitations didn't come. But once you've mastered something, you take it on a walk, that will call in more invitations. So a couple of things that I want to complete with this live training today. One is about the energy. We're talking about the mindset. So I want to also find out if you guys feel that you need support with mindset, meaning the support with meditation tools, with moving out of fear, with moving into the frequency of high vibe, so that you can have more money in your life through the inner game. So one thing that I did every single day in order to create my business to make as much money as I was making in corporate, it really had to be a shift of consciousness. I had to really, really shift my inner world. So if you guys need support with that, give me a Y in the comment. And the reason I'm asking is because I'm thinking for, this community is creating a meditation or a group on Zoom, so that we can actually do the tools together as a group and lift our frequency up through meditation, through visualizations, through the mindset piece. So give me a yes if you feel interested in that. And then I'll start talking about how we can create that as a group. So if you guys feel like you need that extra support, give me a yes in the comments below. Even if you're listening to the replay, I will look at all of that, and we will start developing a community of support to lift each other up into Lauren. Oh, awesome. Woo! Awesome. Lisa, awesome. Gives me give it a Y in the comments. Yeah, for Y for yes. Awesome. Yeah, it sounds powerful, right? To come together, do a little meditation, visualization, but also in a way that's based on your design, in a way that you can feel what it feels like to be totally aligned to the passenger consciousness, to the vehicle intelligence, and really allow that shift of consciousness to allow for us to be in our abundance, to be in our divine birthright, to be in the fact that we do not need to suffer. Even in these times, we can align to absolute abundance. Okay, so this is really important, and I think it takes work, and it's like going to the gym. You have to do that work. Okay, so Faith, oh, awesome, awesome. Yes, my mindset isn't the best. I've been noticing and shutting it, but could you support? Yeah, because it's a scary time. Let's just be honest, and the thing is that drives me nuts is I hate all of the like, the rhetoric out there about, the money making, and that it just drives me nuts. It's like we need to talk about it from a real sense, which is real life fears and real life things that are affecting us, as opposed to, like, I bought into so many of the, so much of the hype about, oh, if you do this, you'll make $1 million. You do this, you'll make 10K a month. It's never been that way for me. It's always been follow your design, do your inner work, serve, be in your joy. And then the abundance consciousness shifted things for me to let the abundance come in. But any kind of like following a certain things to make a certain amount of money, that actually pushed it away from me. It actually made it harder for me. But then again, my motivation is innocence. And innocence means you can't have an agenda. You can't have an agenda. You have to allow for everything to come in its own natural, innocent way through service. That's how it is for me. So Howling Wolf, awesome, is a yes. That's the purpose, right, of all of us. Exactly. Flow is a yes. Negative energy around me often that I forget to constantly cleanse. It's about being so uniquely you, and you will. Yes, exactly. How does motivation need operate? Oh, that's a good one. The need, Well, this is Davidian too. He has need, and that is really about he just like he needs certain things in this climate to make him feel safe. So, like for example, he needed to have certain amount of food prepared, and he was really, he needs to have a certain thing prepared. And he is amazing at that and making sure that that's what he needs and he handles that. So it really is about making sure your needs are met, right? That's making sure your needs are met. So the PHS stuff is something that I'm also going to do another video on, because I know there's been a lot of questions on that, and you are, Megan, going like 4 steps beyond where we are in the certification process. You're going advanced. But it is a fun question. It's fun to look at it. And that's why I did the environment video. That one's available too if you want to see your environment. Mine is caves. That's there too. You're always 1 step ahead. But you have to take it from the beginning. It's just like anything else you're learning how to do. You're learning how to play the piano and you want to be a master. You can hear the songs in your head, but you got to learn this. You got to learn each ding, 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 ding. You got to learn like the whole harmonies and how the harmonics flow together and how the keys and the notes and the pedals, they all fit together. And then you can hear the songs in your head and then they will start to master, right? So with all of that said, what I'd really like to do at this point is I would like to shift the energy. What I'm going to also do is I'm going to put some notes in this video. So check this video back on YouTube. After it's done with the live, I'm going to put a couple of other links in there for you guys on how we're going to come together as a group and how we're going to do that. And I'll be sharing more about that as the weeks go. And I'll put some links below to get you guys started on that, which is some of the abundance modules that you want to listen to in advance to prepare. And then what we'll do is we'll come together as a group and do something live. Obviously, I always let this be free for all of my clients. And maybe we can do this at a very small investment so everyone can participate. Everyone can be in it. And something that we can all come together on Zoom and raise the frequency based on our design, right? Because I think that that's the big question is, we raise the frequency, we go into abundance, and then it's like, okay, now I need to go out and take action, and I need to make it happen, and I got to do all this stuff, and then never works, just like why I'm suggesting YouTube as another stream of income, because it works for us. And obviously I can only give you guys the how-to on the things that I really have mastered as a projector. And that's one of the areas that I researched and really mastered for everybody to learn how to get their keywords and master that system. So that's one of the systems that I can teach how to. Again, that video is going to be in the description as well. And then we'll figure out how we can all come together on Zoom as a group and raise the frequency, do the energy work, do the healing necessary. I'm telling you 100% from a person who completely transformed their life as a projector. And I work less than I've ever worked in my life. And I am in more abundance than I've ever been in my life. And it was all through the shift of consciousness. And I don't like talking about it too much, except for to encourage you and inspire you guys to know that if I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. Because I was in like a lot of debt and fear and completely careerless when everything fell and I left corporate and there was nothing there. It was down to nothing. And I was not a youngster either, okay? So it was starting from nothing, right? And that was a projector doing it. And so that's important, because when I watch those MGs and I'm seeing them, they're like rocking out their business, I'm like, that ain't going to work for me. Okay. But we also can help those MGs because we do know how to support them, right? We do know. So all of these things are really important. And it starts with the inner world, the inner mindset. So what I'd like to do is I'd like for you guys all to take a breath in with me. And one thing I want to give you all, everybody who's here live and on the recording in this moment, is I would like to give us an uplifting energy, encouragement in this moment. So you guys all with me? So I'm going to ask everybody, and if you're listening to the recording, I'm going to ask everybody to take a pause and close their eyes. So if you guys can do that, just type yes in the chat that you can close your eyes and you can do the centering with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to center in the whole group, all of this community. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift the frequency up into a place of solution. Okay, you with me? You with me? We're going to lift it up into a place of solution, and we're going to open you up to whatever the issue is right now in your life. You're going to be given a new frequency, a frequency of abundant solution. And we're going to feel that frequency so that we can all step up into a new path of enlightened abundance, regardless of the fear and what is around you. Hey, Cordelia. Okay. Take a breath in with me. Close your eyes. That was my past life dance moment. Past life meaning in my 20s. Okay. Take a breath in with me. Let's get present. Feel the power of this group. Feel the power of now. And just let go of everything outside. Let go of any worry, any fear, any concern, anything you've seen, anything in the before this moment, anything after this moment. The collective now that we are entering into, whether you're listening to the recording or where you are, tap into this moment, your moment, where we are connected through time and through space, and drop into your heart. Let go of your mind for one moment. Open up the imaginary stream. So imagine your head. Imagination has power. So imagine your head opening and beautiful streams of light moving through the vehicle. Now, these beautiful streams of light within it are frequency and vibration moving through every cell. The frequency and vibration moving through every cell is one of infinite abundance, infinite solutions, infinite yes. All is possible. All is possible. And I set the intention for every single person listening to this recording and everyone who is here live, that they are downloaded and given a new opportunity, a new solution to anything that they may be worried about right now. Just a new solution. It may come right in this moment, and it may come within the week, but a new opportunity, a new path, a new yes feeling, a new, oh my God, what a great idea. Oh my God, my business can pivot in this direction to serve people in this moment. I can, if I made this offer, I could have 100 new clients today. If I made a DIY online program selling this, that's a manifestation of new potentiality. So just allow that opportunity to come in, that all is possible. All is available, regardless of what we're seeing anywhere on the news. It starts in this place of calm. I love you guys. Please provide your comments below. Like this video if you're on YouTube. And I will look forward to connecting with you more deeply, setting up a Zoom call for all of us to go to that next step. Just know that everything is available to you, regardless of any fear, anything you're seeing out there. You are a divine being of power and light and beauty. Your voice is needed now. Your mission is needed. Your vision is needed. Mwah. I love you guys.